so it's not so obvious you missed the goal.
Okay.
The first layer, try to have the glue as hot as possible without getting higher than that, was it 56 degrees, whatever. It just ensures that it's going to adhere better. It's 1 to 9, didn't I? So 36. The idea of diluting of it is that, as with gesso, the principle is weaker on top of stronger. If you put a strong glue mix on top of something that's weaker, it'll contract and it can crack, come off. So that's why we're gradually adding more water in. So I might have in the book given a proportion, but I'll just do it by sight. So that's probably about right, about that much. Now this here is just fine clay, bole clay and water. You can get powdered bole, but I had a bad experience with the first powdered bole I came across. It was too gritty, so after that I always bought this. Rights of Lynn sell one of their own make, but I always gone for Doyle Lefranc. It's super quality. Now, not all of this will dissolve, so I always decant it. So when I'm making for these, I always have a number of things in hot water, mix it up in one, then decant to the other to leave any unmixed stuff at the bottom, because you don't want lumps. If you haven't got any of these, I've got lots you can borrow. So you don't want it to cool. So if you have it in a big container and you just a very little bit, then you get a lot of evaporation. It will cool quickly. So you want it in a small container. This dries pretty quickly, so you can put the layers one upon the other reasonably quickly. Probably 3 hours, all told, beginning to end. I used to bowl a number of boards at the same time, but then I found that, then start gilding, but then I found that the boards that I had put bowl on, but I waited a few days before I gilded, they didn't gild so well, and I think it's because putting bowl on dampens the gesso panel, so the gesso's got a bit of give to it. But if you do all that, a week before, then all the water's just gone, so it doesn't gild quite so well. I mean, you can do it, but I think I was correct in observing that they didn't gild quite so well. So you can see there that some are stood at the bottom, so that's why I decant. It means there's a bit of wastage, but there we are.
Can I just see the temperature? Is that really hot?
No.
Okay.
Well, you boil it up when you were boiling, that's okay, and then you went.
Well, it wasn't, I mean, this wasn't boiling.
No, but those.
Yeah.
Could you use those directly, or that would be too hot for that? So if you boil these, they're really hot, you take them out and they're really hot, and you pour this in, this you get weaker then. Because the glue here shouldn't be more than 50, 60.
Well, this is why we've added, I put 9 of this side, then add another water. I've already added water in.
Okay.
Yeah. You can see there, little bits. So obviously if you're painting and there's lumps, then it's not going to be very nice. So I put that in there to keep it warm. You're going to have to scrape back the gold a bit anyway, so it's better to go over the line just a little bit. Make sure you've dusted your board down with a handkerchief, just because you don't want any powder from your sanding left on, otherwise this won't adhere so well. So as the notes say, different people have different approaches, but I've found myself, when we put the gesso, the bowl proper on, I keep putting layers on until it's completely opaque, and then put 2 more layers on, the reason being that when you sand, obviously you're taking some layers off. So if you stop when it's opaque, the sanding will begin to expose bits of the white, which you don't want. So I found the best rule is to keep going until it's opaque, and then add those 2 extra layers, which give you a bit of room for when you sand. But I have noticed that early medieval icons don't have much bowl at all, but they're burnished really well, and I think the reason is they used what's called gesso sottile, which is much softer gesso. So the gesso itself had a bit of give, so you didn't need so much bowl.
How is that made?
You get plaster Paris, mix it with water, and while it's trying to set, you keep stirring it. And it can take quite about a month to do, you keep stirring it. And so you're sort of stopping it turning into solid lump. And then you dry it out into cakes, and then so you've got your powder, and then you just treat that exactly as you would ordinary whiting. The 2 types, gesso sottile and gesso grosso. Grosso just means the original plaster Paris. So what they tended to do in the old days, they would carve something in wood, and not carve it to high detail. They put the grosso on, they might add a bit of rabbit skin glue to make it stronger, and they'd carve that. And then they would put the sottile on and then gild on that. Grosso meaning just gross, sort of coarser, so that's used to fill in big gaps. As with gesso, when we come to bowl proper, we wait till the shininess is gone, and then put the next layer on. Okay, so you can use that. I'll now mix the. Can you give me 2 empty jars there, please? Thank you very much indeed. So you can bring this over. I'll warm it up a bit. Get a bit of hot water. Let's turn it on. I've had this about 30 years, this thing. It's been
Does
amazing.
look it.
That's a great one. Okay, so now, if you look at our recipe, bowl proper is 4 parts of size to 1 of water. To show you the consistency we're after. So this is going to be thicker this time. What am I doing? Okay.
So are all the subsequent layers then of that mixture?
Of the 4 to 1,
Of the 4
yeah.
to 1.
Yeah.
What's this name?
The glue, rabbit glue.
You need more of this because you need a lot more layers. So just to reiterate, the purpose of this bowl is to offer cushioning so you can burnish the gold.
Two more, 12.
That's 1 to 4, isn't it? Sorry.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
4, 4 to 16.
4 into 64.
1, 16.
Yeah, 16.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you want to be more scientific than I am, you could weigh this up every time, but just to do it by sight. I'll use a brush this time to mix it. This is a lot more to mix, and a brush is a good mixer.
How, I mean, you're experienced in what it's meant to be like. How are we supposed to know?
I bought my book to see if I put down. I think I may have done an experiment and did it by sight. But I'd weighed everything before, so
Right.
I'll have a look in the book.
A dollop of this and a dollop of that.
So you want this a bit like double cream, really.
Right.
I'll mix it in there so this is too good. Yep, it's on. Need to warm it up.
How's that heating up, Aidan? How's it heating up?
It's plugged in.
Oh, is it plugged in? All right, it's just a magic thing.
So,
Or is it something I don't know?
sorry, for that total quantity there of liquid, so the original sort of glue that, plus the water, how much total liquid?
It's 4 of
4
size
sides
to
to 1
1
water.
water.
Yeah, but sorry, just the quantity that you made there.
Oh, this
how many
particular quantity,
millilitres
that
of-
was 60,
in all,
70.
70.
I wouldn't make that much if it's just you yourself, but I'm
Yeah,
making
but just to
vast
see the
quantities.
proportion, because you used about, say,
Oh,
a
I see what you
dessert
mean.
spoon
Yeah,
to 70
well, fairly heaped desserts.
Still 4 to
Yeah.
1 though. It's 4 to 1.
of,
Actually, we could weigh it and I can tell exactly what it was. Because I know these are between 200 good grams, so I'll weigh it and I'll tell us exactly how much.
okay,
Like if you put in 4 4 16 spoons, you need 4 spoons of water.
but it was
And
the
about 4 to 1.
quantity to the bowl.
With the bowl
So
there,
it's
it's just
no, well, 64 plus 16, wasn't it? So 80. 80
80.
grams, and then how much of this?
the bowl. It wasn't. You just put a spoonful of bowl. And all that.
80 grams plus the jar.
So 217, so 117. So what did we say? Was it 80?
80.
Was it 80 minus 117. 117 minus 80 around. So it was 37
Yeah,
grams.
of bowl.
Bowl. Probably a bit more 40 because some of the bowl was on the brush.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 40 to
80.
80. Oh, yeah. That feels good. Put it there to keep it a bit warm. If it gets cold, as you know, it sort of stiffens, doesn't it, until it gets a jelly. So if it's too cold, you end up putting it on too thickly. So that's why you want to keep it a bit warm. There's no problem with bubbles as you get with Gesso with this. So there's no problem keeping it at low heat if you want to. Okay, so we'll transfer that now. Make sure there's no grit or anything because you don't want grit to get in underneath the gold. Could you wash that up for me?